Ladies and gentlemen, Massachusetts is struggling really bad with meth. Now, meth have been really prevalent especially in the Midwest. A lot of states will have more of a meth problem than an opioid problem. And Massachusetts is still not even out of the water as far as the opioids are concerned because that is still going strong in that state. So now the meth is adding insult to injury. Even where I am, y'all, you can drive down certain streets, not the majority of the streets, but there's a handful of streets that you can drive down and you'll see rows of homes, and then all of a sudden you'll see a gap in between houses. That was a meth house that blew up. Now, some people will even think, oh, maybe it was a house fire that destroyed the home. That's why it's not there. No, it was a meth lab. It blew up. We had a couple of them blow up around here. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Boston Globe, August 13th, 2019. Meth has taken hold in Massachusetts. So they're saying that the drug users are more aggressive, and they start noticing this, especially a week ago, the aggressive behavior of these drug addicts, and figured out it was the meth, and it's turning out to be a big problem in Massachusetts. Methamphetamines, an illegal drug that long plagued the West and Midwest, and we know some of the places like Colorado, they have also a big meth problem there. All right, so the state is still grappling with the opioid crisis that, Trump claimed that he got under control. Yeah, right. Meth caught the public's eye last week when it was blamed for aggressive behavior by street drug users in the South End. But the effects of methamphetamines, which has become increasingly popular in Massachusetts over the past year or two, go beyond the annoyances caused by users bathing in public fountains. Wow. That's some crazy shit, y'all. And or congregating in front of restaurants. Yeah, meth actually has a long-term effect. These people will be awake for like days and days and days. Yeah, that's crazy. It's really the last thing we need right now, said Dr. Alexander Y. Wally, an addiction specialist and researcher at the Boston Medical Center. Meth has become more available and less expensive in New England, and it is often used in combination with other drugs. Experts aren't sure why it's arriving here later than in other regions. The State Department of Health reports that the number of people who said they use methamphetamines as their primary or secondary drug has increased, but remains a small percentage of people who use the treatment system or call for help. No, most addicts are not going to, they don't even want rehab. They don't want it. Okay, so in the fiscal year that ended in June 2014, 12 people called the Massachusetts Substance Use Hotline. Yeah, out of the whole year, just 12 people called. Damn. And said methamphetamines was the primary substance they use. By fiscal year 2019, that had increased to 63 people, still less than 1% of total calls. Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that the number is low for people asking for help, y'all. You can expect that. Those reporting methamphetamines as their second substance went from just one in fiscal year 2017 to 25 this year. Asa Morsi, spokesman for the New England Division of the Drug Enforcement Administration, said that despite an uptick and meth throughout New England, it's nowhere near approaching what they're experiencing in the Midwest or on the West Coast. Opioids remain the DEA's top concern in the region. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but just because meth is not that big now, that don't mean a year from now it won't be exploding. Still, addiction specialists are troubled by the way meth has become intertwined with the opioid plague, especially because the treatment system is ill prepared to deal with stimulant addiction. Most providers don't know where to start helping people with meth use disorders. I'm sure they don't. Meth doesn't kill with the swift ferocity of fentanyl, but it can be fatal over time, damaging the cardiovascular system in ways that can cause heart attacks or strokes. Withdrawing from meth isn't as painful as withdrawing from opioids, but afterwards, patients are often in no condition to engage in recovery. They can be deeply depressed or even psychotic, often with impaired decision making and an inability to experience pleasure. At the same time, they're gripped by powerful urges to use again. Yeah, I'm sure they are. The forces that providers go to, back to the basics of the specialized talk therapy methods and social supports. Um, so this doctor is saying who has treated with meth addiction in the gay community. Okay. Well, one thing about people on meth that really stand out are the lesions that they tend to have on their faces. That's always a sign right there. You can always see it just cropping up all over. Some of them got a face full of them. And that is the one distinctive thing I notice about a meth addict when I do run across a few of them out here. So, Dr. Timothy Whalens, director of Massachusetts General Center for Addiction Medicine, said people who have been taking meth often arrive at the center in extremely poor health, skinny, dehydrated, sleepless, pock-marked, um, and missing teeth. They get really sick really fast, he said. Once they stop taking meth, patients will often sleep nonstop for 2 to 3 days. Wow. When they wake up, they desperately crave meth and often can't think clearly, Whalen said. It's hard for them to understand what you're saying, hard to follow up with appointments, he said. If people can stay away from meth, their brains will gradually recover, although it can take 6 months to a year. Patients need to be in a safe place away from other users and undergoing psychotherapy, Whalen said. Well, good luck with that. I find that many of these addicts are very defiant and they don't want any kind of help. So if you got any program where they leave and have to come back for an appointment, chances of you seeing them again are slim. I don't believe many of them do come back to those appointments. Meth lasts longer than other stimulants. Users who sniff, smoke, or inject the drug get a brief spurt of euphoria, but continue to remain activated for hours, Whaley said. Typically, they'll seek their next meth dose before coming down from the high. You get this stacking of stimulation, Whaley said, leading to binges that last days. When that happened, the risk of psychosis increase. Wow. I mean, that's really deep. Just thinking about when they try to come down from the meth, sleeping 2 to 3 days. Damn. Damn. That is a lot of sleeping. That's crazy. So I'm not surprised, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't even be surprised if this started happening in the state that I'm in. Usually, it never stops with one drug. That's very rare. It always switches over to another drug, or sometimes it may be 2 or 3 different drugs that people are getting high on. So, Massachusetts, they're just dealing with one more problem out here. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.